Hi, welcome today here to Ken's repair shop. Now, why are we going to call it the repair shops? Because we're going to be working on multiple different things. We may work on cars, we may work on motorcycles, we may work on chainsaws, maybe even a lawnmower or two. We might even do a little bit of house repair. So this channel is going to be jumping around from one thing to another as projects come up. Today we're going to be working on this, a 2006 Honda Odyssey. What are we going to do to it? We're going to put a switch in it, an ignition switch. The ignition switch locked up, the key won't turn. I can barely get the key in and out of it. Yes, this is my private vehicle. So this is where we're going to start at. I can't say how often we'll be able to get videos out, but we'll get them out as often as we can. As the views begin to build and we'll be able to get more content we can send out to you, we sure do that. We'll get it out to you as quick as we can. But like I said, today we're going to put an ignition switch in this. My helper today is going to be Doc. He come down. It's my son-in-law. He's going to come and help me do this transition with this ignition switch, and I'm going to teach him how to do it. He's wanting to learn about cars. We're going to teach him as we go along. Okay, let's go inside and see what we got. All right, we're going to show you what the problem is here. I got the key. This is the key for the vehicle. Put it in. It won't turn. It will not turn. Either direction. It will not turn. Now what we're going to have to do is replace this whole ignition switch. It runs all the way across the bottom of the steering wheel. A lot of people think you have to pull a steering wheel, but you don't. All you have to do is have a few tools. We'll start a 1/4-inch drive ratchet with a 5/16 socket on it. We're going to put a Phillips head drill or Phillips head bit in it. And what we're going to do, there's 2 screws underneath here we got to take loose. And then we're going to take this multi-switch out. Now, the reason we're taking the multi-switch out is to make it easier to see what I'm doing behind the multi-switch. So let's get this multi-switch out and then we'll go from there. Okay, we're going to unplug the ignition switch. I've already got it unplugged. Got one plug here and one plug on this end right here that has to come loose. Okay, now there's 2 screws, one here and one up under here that we got to take out to get this multi-switch off. Come on, ratchet, cooperate. These are Phillips head screws. Once you get them loose, you can pretty much turn them out with your fingers. Unless you got fat fingers like me. Now we got one plug on this side for the multi-switch. Well, drop my screwdriver. We got one plug right here for your multi-switch. And there's another one on the other side over there. Gonna have to do a little bit different on this one. Gonna have to use a wrench on this one. .5/16 wrench to fit the screwdriver.
Let's see, do you got one, Dad?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, y'all.
Now, what is that piece again that you're taking off, Dad?
It's called a multi-switch.
A multi-switch?
And the reason they call it a multi-switch is because it does several different functions.
Okay.
Windshield wipers, dimmer switch.
So the main switch to control everything.
Yeah. I know I had a straight edge screwdriver just a minute ago.
I thought I'd seen you have one. If you don't, I'll go get you one. Flathead?
I thought I brought one out with me, but maybe I
I'll
didn't.
go grab an extra one just in case.
Well, I can't get my screwdriver up in there to get it loose.
There you go.
I think I got it loose, so.
Okay.
But thank you anyway. Okay.
What'd you do?
I got my socket, got my little screwdriver thing caught up in there. I couldn't get it out. I had to screw it back in a little bit to get it out. Okay.
That is one hard-headed woodpecker.
They can make a lot of noise.
Sounds like he's pounding on a telephone pole.
One thing I forgot to mention, we have trains in the area. So you may hear a train pass by once in a while. I apologize in advance for the noise, but there's nothing I can do about it. I live next to a railroad track.
Yeah, like you could throw a stone and hit the railroad track.
Yeah.
You're that close. Get out my slingshot. Bing! Hit the track. Mind your light.
No, this plug's being contrary.
I hate those snaps.
Well, I understand the purpose of them.
Yeah, so do I.
It holds the plug in place.
Which makes it a whole lot better instead of them just rattling loose. But they're a pain in the butt.
They can be. They can be. Sometimes.
Especially those really tiny, like, half us.
Mm-hmm. Well, he only pays like $3 a month.
Exactly, but still.
Well, that one ain't wanting to come out there for some reason. Well, I don't know if I can get it loose without that. Okay, we got another screw back here in the back. Oh, that thing goes all the way around the steering column. Well, we're not going to be able to get that part out like I wanted. But I need to show them down in here. Okay, the biggest problem you have about getting this ignition switch out is right down here. Them two screws right there. Yeah, screwdriver. These two screws right here are what they call breakaway screws. Once you get them in there and get them tight, the heads break off so you can't get them back out. That's a safety issue to keep your car from being stolen. That's why they could break the plastic off of it and steal your car by just changing the ignition switch. Now to get these out, we're going to take a punch and hit on the corner of them here and turn them to get them loose. Once we get them loose, then they will spin freely out.
Sorry,
See,
The,
right
the
down in there.
the handoffs
Okay,
I'll have to change.
I see that.
out of curiosity, I wonder. Nope.
Nope.
Can't see you very well.
You're not going to be able to see what I'm doing because I'm going to be right up on the camera.
Yeah, he's gonna be right.
The glare. Like I said, it's just an experimental shot. I was just trying to see if I could get a...
Now are we rolling?
Yeah, we're still rolling. Like I said, there's going to be some edits along the way, so...
This is the way you're going to have to get these out. See if this chisel works a little bit better. Get a better bite.
There's that pesky train.
Well, speaking of a train, here comes one.
Looks like it turned a little bit. They can be rather aggravating to get out. But once you get past this point and get them out, the rest of it's relatively simple. And people wonder why mechanics charge so much money.
Did you get it?
Not quite yet, but I'm working at it. It's moving. It's just moving a little at a time. You ain't got a whole lot of room in here to work.
Yeah.
Well, that one's being stubborn. Excuse me, people.
Thank God for edits.
Huh?
Thank God for edits.
Things about to get serious.
Yes. He done went and turned his head around.
Uh-oh, things are getting serious.
Got one loose.
One down, one to go.
Pardon the pun, he's all up in its grill.
Seriously. That one is going to be a fun one to get to. Got the steering wheel down as far as it'll go. And still I can't. I can't even see to tell if I'm on it or not. It would be nice if that would come up there out of my way. But the only way to get that off is take the steering column off. Let's see what we can do here. Front floorboard of that blue truck, there's a flashlight. Would you mind getting it for me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we got both the screws loose finally after beating the daylights out of them. So we gotta do now, it'll turn with our fingers now. We gotta do just reach under here and hold it up and turn the screws out. And I'll show you these when I get them out, and I'll show you what the new ones look like we're gonna be putting back in. But they're a twist until they break. Once they break, they're tight enough. There's one of them. The heads are up here and they break off once you get them to the right torque. And I'll show you the new ones when we put it back in. Oh, come on now. We're spinning freely a little while ago. What's up with you now?
And just when you think you made some headway.
It's a matter of getting in there. They don't give you a whole lot of room.
Is that why most people take the dashboard off? To get to everything?
Well, it would probably be easier to take the steering column loose and let it down. But it's not necessary. You can do it. It gets a little frustrating, but you can do it. Come on. It would have been even easier if we could have got that if you could have got that multi-switch out of your way. Which we did get it where we could turn it. So but that's what the other one looks like, and that's what bracket holds it. This is your lock pin that locks your steering wheel. And then this goes across there like that to hold it to the steering column. And that's what it looks like, pulled out. Okay, now we got to get the new one and see about getting it ready to go back in. Ta-da! New switch. Now there is one thing we have to change over from the old switch to this one. But you want to make sure your keys work first. Before you do anything, make sure your keys work. Okay, keys work. Now, this piece here, you have to take off your old switch and put on your new switch. Okay? That piece right there. And all it is a Phillips screw. I was looking for a straight screwdriver a while ago.
That's the one I brought to you, Dad.
So boring. Okay. That piece comes off. And it goes on your new switch.
Now, what is that piece that you just took off, Dad?
You asked me too quick. I'd have to look at the instructions again to tell you the actual name of it. This screwdriver fits it a little bit better.
I guess in mechanics, size really does matter.
Right tool for the right job. And another screw that goes in there, and I know I took that off. That Jeff and Jehoshaphat.
Uh-huh.
Go ahead and pause it for a minute. When I do the paper I just had in my hand.
You just put it back down?
No, I had a different paper besides that one. Ah! You running? Okay. Come here, Doc.
Right here.
Quit wandering off.
What we got?
That piece is called an immobilizer unit.
An immobilizer?
Yeah, what that does, it reads the key and tells whether it's got the right key in it.
Okay.
So I'm going to have these keys programmed to this van. But I believe I can get it to start without having the keys programmed the first time anyway.
All right.
Now, the screws I was telling you about. This is what I had to beat out. See where it's all necked up on the sides? This is what it looked like when they put them in. Now what you do is you run them in and torque them down till the heads break off. Once the heads break off, they're as tight as they need to be. But you can't take them back out without a hammer and a chisel to knock them out. That's a safety feature to keep people from stealing your car. Once it's in there, it's in there. You can't get it back out unless you got a chisel and a hammer. You see how long it took me to chisel them out. So let's put this back together. At least make an attempt at putting it back together anyway. I wish they'd give you a little more room to work in here. It would be nice.
Voodoo.
Thank God for magnetic screwdrivers. Well, knock it back down in there, dummy. Well, I'm dropping everything.
All right.
Did my screw come all the way down there?
No, let me look.
It's probably right here in this plastic.
Y'all need some midget hands.
Well. Okay. This is all part of being a mechanic. You always have to do stuff you don't want to do. So let's see if we can pull this off. And there is my screw. Knock.
I got you.
I'm glad somebody does. Now, one thing I need to explain to you. Like I said, this locks your steering wheel. So when you put that back up in there, you need to move it around till you feel that drop into that slot. So it'll be in the right position. See, you hear it snap in there?
I did.
This is going to be tricky, you know that, don't you?
Oh yeah. You want me to Here, let me try from this angle. Here, take those.
Hey, gentlemen, how many pole locks does it take to change down an ignition switch?
Hey, we don't need no comments from the peanut gallery over there, young lady.
Either way, this is going to be edited, but I was just curious.
Yay! He got it started. It's right over there next to the gas pedal. You see where the other one goes at? At least I ain't the only one that dropped it.
How many pole locks does it take to fumble a screw? You know I gotta give you a hard time.
Get it started.
I think so. Where is the hole? Shut up.
YouTube, Dad. YouTube guidelines. Oh yeah, do I need to go skin a beaver and put a little hair around it?
YouTube guidelines, YouTube guidelines.
Edit, edit. You've been on this for a second. I can clip a second or two out of it. Called transitions, baby.
I can't hit the hole.
Sounds like a personal problem.
Get it started.
It's not letting me thread it.
Well, at least on the positive side, if the screw falls out, at least it'll hit the floorboard instead of inside of the dashboard casing.
Sometimes you gotta kind of be nimble.
Be quicker than the tool.
I didn't say anything about being quick. I just said be nimble. You have to almost be a contortionist. Okay. Double check, make sure we were in our groove. This is more of an expensive fix than it is a hard fix. It's an easy fix once you get them screws out. But it's an expensive fix because here locally in Cincinnati where I live at, they wanted $385 for the switch. I went to, and this Rock Auto is not a sponsor. I went to Rock Auto and got it for $160. Shipping and everything was like $190 total.
So you got that for about $200 with shipping and everything versus about $300 plus at a regular store.
Yeah, at a local store, yeah. And I would recommend tightening these down evenly. Do one, then the other.
I was about to say until it breaks off.
It didn't break off yet.
It didn't break off yet?
No.
All I seen is...
I was trying to get my wrench back out so I could tighten the other side a little bit.
I know what we can call this episode.
Huh?
2 men in a van.
2 men in a van.
The comedic episodes of 2 men in a van.
Patreon worthy.
Mm-hmm.
The thing about it is, 2 idiots and some tools.
Hey, there we go. That'll work. Now, mind you, I have this sitting this way because your hands usually are in the way of the small screws. So if there's anything you're looking to one-on-one discuss with your viewership, now would be a good time to do that.
Well,
like important notes, certain tools. Not necessarily reviews, but your go-to tools for a job like this.
Well, each vehicle is different. Now, most of your Hondas are going to be the same. I know the Honda Pilot uses the same ignition switch and has the same problem. A lot of your other Hondas that use the same ignition switch may have the same problem. What happens is the keys... Is that going the right way? No, it's going the wrong way.
Say lefty loosey, Dad.
What happens is where your key goes in at, there are little brass pieces. And they are different lengths, cut different. They have numbers on them, like 1 through 10 or something like that. And the edges of them get wore over years and years and years of working that key back and forth, in and out. They get wore. Well, they get to the point where they won't push far enough to clear the tumbler to let it turn. Well, when that happens, you get into a problem like I got.
I was about to say, you think that's what happened to you?
Yeah. The edges get wore down, they get bent over, then they won't spring back and forth like they're supposed to. But, like I said, it's more of a aggravation than it is a hardship fix. More of an expensive fix. Steering wheel's locking, and that would be something I would check before I snap them bolts off, is make sure that the lock is working like it's supposed to. Now let's see if it unlocks when we turn the key. Wrong key, Skinny.
Wrong keys, Dad.
Using the old key instead of the new key.
If you didn't have 50,000 keys.
Now see, it unlocked. So we're
Let's
good.
see, I heard that unlocked.
So we're good. Now we can go ahead and snap these off. And I'm only using a 1/4 inch drive, so if I can snap them off with a 1/4 inch drive, you know that the average person will be able to snap them off.
That one just came off.
Yep.
So
I felt it give.
about to say, show your viewers what you were talking about coming off.
See, they broke off. Once you get them certain tight, they break right off. And now it's in there permanently. It's in there permanently. You'll have to chisel it to get it back out. Now I got one more I got to break off. on, get down in it. Well, I had that big tall socket in there a little while ago. I don't know why I can't get it in there now, but anyway, we'll get it. One way or the other. Gonna get you. And you don't have to be a genius to do what I do.
Yes, Obi-Wan.
As Mr. O says at South Main Auto, if I can do it, you can do it. And there it is.
I was about to say, did you break it off?
Yep.
And
Now.
you dropped your tool?
Dropped my tool.
You dropped your tool.
All we got to do is put a bunch of screws back in here.
Speaking of choo-choo.
Here comes another.
Sorry, Dad.
We're playing the train game. The biggest thing I can say about this job is get all of your screws started before you tighten it up. Because sometimes they can be a pain.
Like that.
Well, that was my fault, I dropped it. Make sure you plug everything back in so everything will function as it's supposed to. Come on. You know what my problem is?
What's that, sir?
I'm trying to do it left-handed and I'm a right-handed man. Well, got a screw not wanting to cooperate.
Isn't that how it goes? It's always one screw or one bolt that just does not want to cooperate.
Or
Get
give
into
up
that
the
every
ghost.
time I do something. That Phillips tip out of that hole right there. No, just the end, little end piece.
Just the tip.
Aha, there we go.
Just the dip.
I heard she was a dip. But that's another story.
She's gonna beat you, Dad.
In case y'all are wondering, that's my daughter running the camera. We got to pick on her to keep her lively. We don't pick on her, she thinks we don't like her.
Bork.
Bork?
Bork. Not pork, bork.
I was about to say, we talking boar's pork? With my crippling addiction to boar's meat?
Okay, now we got all of them started. We can go back and tighten them up.
That's not funny. You stink. Thank God Dad's got a stopped up head. What happens when you eat pork and beans before bed?
Pulling out the big guns.
I know it's probably hard to see with my big head in the way. Come on. I'm losing my head over this. Wow!
Drop it again.
I dropped it again, and again, and
Would you
again.
like this one? Look for this.
Straight head screwdriver.
Mini or big one?
The one I had just 2 minutes ago.
Down by the seat on the floorboard. Or that one works.
Straight head.
Here you go.
This would be easier if I had one of them little bitty screwdriver things that look like a
ratchet?
ratchet.
Yeah.
Come on. Probably a dog at the front door or the cat one. Cat or a dog?
Costco.
Alrighty then. That should take care of that. Now all we have to do is charge the battery and see if she'll start. So we'll be back in a little bit when we get the battery charged up. Okay, here we are again. We had to have the keys programmed to the vehicle so that it would start. So here we're going to see if it'll start. It was successful. Switch change was successful. And all we have to do is put our plastic back on, which it snaps together, and then 3 screws in the bottom, and we're done. I'm not going to bother showing that because that's boring stuff. But that's all we got to do is put the plastic back on it, and we're good to go. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you. Respect y'all. Give me some likes, some thumbs up and stuff. I'd greatly appreciate it. And there'll be more content coming in the future. There's a lot of guys out there with a lot of different sayings on their channels when they end. But the biggest thing I can think of right now, somebody like me can do it, anybody can do it. And I don't mean anything against South Main Auto. I love the man. He's a good guy. He's awesome. But, you know, if somebody like me can do this, I've had no formal training. I've not had any automotive training. This is just me learning on my own. If I can do it, anybody can do it. Have a good day. God bless.